அரசியல் பிழைத்தோருக்கு அறம் கூற்றாகும் என்று சொல்கிறது நமது சிலப்பதிகாரம். இடித்துச் சொல்ல ஆள் இல்லாத மன்னன் கெடுப்பார் இல்லாமலே கெடுவான் என்றார் நம் ஐயன் திருவள்ளுவர். மக்களாட்சியின் பிறப்பிடமான அமெரிக்காவில் அரசியல் பிழைத்தோரை இடித்து கூறி அறத்தை காப்பாற்றி வருவது ஊடகங்கள். மக்களாட்சி பிற நாடுகளுக்கும் பரவியபின் ஊடகங்களும் உலகெங்கும் பரவி ஊடக அறத்தை காத்து வருகின்றன. எந்தவித சமரசங்களுக்கும் ஆளாகாமல் சமன் செய்து சீர்தூக்கும் தராசு போல் செயல்பட வேண்டியதே ஊடக அறம். தமிழ் மொழி ஊடக புலத்தில் இவ்வரத்தை நிலைநாட்ட புறப்பட்டுள்ளது அமெரிக்க தமிழ் வானொலி. வணிக நோக்கற்ற முழுமையான தன்னார்வ ஊடகமாக செயல்படுவதால் இந்த ஊடக அறத்தை நாங்கள் என்றும் காப்பாற்றுவோம் என்ற நம்பிக்கையும் மன உறுதியும் எங்களுக்கு இருக்கிறது. எங்களுடைய பண்பாட்டு அடையாளங்களையும் அன்றாட சர்வதேச நிகழ்வுகளையும் எந்தவித பாரபட்சமும் இன்றி அரசியல் சார்பற்ற நிலையில் மக்களுக்கு உள்ளதை உள்ளபடியாக எடுத்துரைக்கும் நோக்கில் அமெரிக்க மண்ணிலிருந்து மக்களால் மக்களுக்காக உருவாக்கப்படுகிறது அமெரிக்க தமிழ் வானொலி. எங்கள் மண்ணுக்காய், எங்கள் மக்களுக்காய், எங்கள் மொழிக்காய், எங்கள் பண்பாட்டு அடையாளங்களுக்காய் அமெரிக்க மண்ணிலிருந்து மக்களால் மக்களுக்கான வானொலியாய் வலம் வர இருக்கிறது அமெரிக்க தமிழ் வானொலி. தமிழ் எங்கள் மூச்சு.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். அன்புடன் ஜெயஜுலிட் அந்தோணிசாமி, ஆறுமுகம் பேச்சுமுத்து. இங்கிலீஷ் பேசினாலும் தமிழண்டா தமிழச்சிடா. அமெரிக்கன் தமிழ் மீடியா வழங்கும் காலேஜ் பிளானிங் ஈவென்ட். Due to global watching, this program is conducted in English. I would like to invite all the panelists. I would like to welcome all the panelists on behalf of American Tamil Media. I would like to thank you, American Tamil Media President and my brother, Ruben Jagannathan, for your technical support. And I would like to invite and thank our sponsor, Mr. Govind Gopal, owner of Kale Ranch Notary Financial Services. Vanakkam Govind, go ahead.
Vanakkam Juliet. Vanakkam American Tamil Media viewers. Thank you for this opportunity to American Tamil Media. I especially want to thank students and college coach Peri Gopal. He is my friend, and this program is brought to you by students. So that's so special about this program. By students, for students. I am Govind Gopal, offering notary and financial services in Bay Area and financial services throughout in US. So the financial service mainly focused on retirement planning, college planning, tax saving, and protection areas such as will and trust and life insurance. Now, this program mainly focused on how to do the college processing and applications, which university and which campus, and this will be brought to you by students and mainly about you for high school students. So yeah, this is going to be a great program. I want to watch it. Also, I'm happy that I'm sponsoring this, and you can reach me at my phone number 925 322 3131 if you need any of my services. And also, you can reach me through email govind@gailranchnotary.com. Thank you. Without taking much time, I want to give it back to Juliet and students. Thank you, students. This is the great service to the community.
Thank you, Govind. All the UC students, please introduce yourself. I would like to invite Nitish Rajan, son of Govind Kobal. Starts with you. Hi, ma.
Hi. I'm Nitish Rajan. I'm a sophomore at UC Berkeley studying computer science and economics.
Thank you. Next, Kavin Armugam. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Kavin. I'm a third year, currently studying economics with a minor in public policy at UC Berkeley.
Thank you. Next, Pradeep Armugam. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Pradeep Arumugam. I'm a senior at UC Riverside studying business administration with a concentration in information systems.
Thank you all. I would like to invite Shruti Pradesh. She's in, come on, Shruti.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Shruti Pradesh. I am a high school student currently in 11th grade, and I'll be asking Pradeep some questions about his college career and some additional tips.
Go ahead.
So, Pradeep, you are now a student in your 4th year of college, and if you could go back to your first year of college now with the knowledge that you have, what would you do differently?
With the knowledge I have right now and went back to my freshman year of college, I don't think I could really change much. But if I do go back to my high school junior year, which is where you're at, one thing I would do is not take a single AP class. And if I were to be able to go back, I wish I had taken between 2 to maybe 4 community college courses throughout my junior and senior year of high school. This can give me a head start to finish my college core requirements, and I will be guaranteed college credits where, unlike AP classes, you have to take tests in order to get those college credits as well. And the sooner I would have started, the sooner I would have transferred, and the more money and time I would have saved in the long run.
Great. Thank you for your answer, Pradeep. I know you are right. AP US history is very difficult. But I have another question for you. So since you're a college student yourself, how hard would you say time management is? And what are some tips that you can provide for high schoolers?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying the main difference with high school and college is that a student will have a lot more free time throughout their college career than they did in their high school years, which means it'll make it a lot easier to waste time. My advice is have your days planned out on a Google Calendar and set reminders, or even utilize a sticky notepad app on your computer to help keep track of projects, exams, assignments that are all pending, and just try to avoid multitasking and complete each task one at a time efficiently.
Thank you so much for your answer. I have one last question, and that is, what subject are you taking currently? And why did you think that this was the career path for you? And also, what are some tips you would provide for students who are having difficulties in deciding what college career they want to take?
I'm studying business administration with the concentration in information systems. And I chose this major because I love that it's a bridge between business and technology. And the key takeaway from taking the courses for this major is that it demonstrates how information systems can be used to improve business operations and processes. Some tips that I would give out for students who want to decide what their career path to pursue would be to attend their school's career events and corporate visiting to explore varieties of career opportunities that are available.
Thank you, Shruti and Pradeep. Next, I would like to invite Shruti Veerasekharan. Please, Shruti, come on. Please introduce yourself, Shruti. Shruti Veerasekharan.
Hello, I'm Shruti Veerasekharan, and I am a sophomore at Dublin High School, and I'll be asking Kavin some questions. So, Kavin, the first question is, how do you transfer from a community college to Berkeley?
We didn't hear. Pradeep, Kavin, unmute, please.
So
Thank
there's no direct answer to this, but I'll give you some recommendations which would really improve, which would give you a great shot of getting into UC Berkeley. So first off, I would say to have a 3.8 plus GPA to be competitive for the university. And second off, I would say to complete all required coursework and transferable courses that are required to enter in. And thirdly, I would say just be a well-rounded student at the end of the day, meaning you have like not only good grades, but also good extracurriculars, which could be, you know, a part-time job, you know, or even involvement in school clubs or volunteering, for instance. And fourthly, I would say show effort and passion within your essays, because that will show who you are as a person. And I genuinely think for some universities, that's what will make or break your application.
Thank you. And the second question I have for you is, what are you studying right now, and why did you choose that career path?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, I'm studying economics with a minor in public policy. And the reason I'm studying that particular subject is because I want to enter investment banking after graduation.
And the third question I have for you is, how many clubs were you in high school?
So me in particular, I didn't have much club involvement in high school. I just mainly focused, just focused on school. But I would say for clubs and involvement, I would say you should follow that saying, quality versus quantity. And I would say you're better off being in 2 to 3 clubs where you contribute greatly as like an executive or being on the leadership team, rather than just merely being a simple member of 6 or 7 clubs, because that'll show your true involvement.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Shruti Veerasekharan and Kavin Arumugam. Next, I would like to invite Akshara Senthil. Akshara, I want to see your costume too.
Hi, my name is Akshara Senthil. I'm a junior at Dublin High School, and I'm going to be asking Nitish some questions.
Go ahead.
So my first question is, how did you cater your application towards your specific major, like computer science and engineering? And what are the differences between applying to a college undecided versus choosing a major?
Yeah, hi Akshara. Thank you for the question. So I would say that showing strong academic magnitude is a key factor in being able to succeed with a rigorous course load, especially for a major like computer science, where you're going to expect classes that will take up a lot of your time. Furthermore, to amplify your application, I would recommend joining academic clubs such as Maths or Science Olympiad, competition clubs such as Speech and Debate or Model UN, or volunteering clubs like UNICEF, CSF, or NHS. So essays are also a key component of UCs, especially colleges like UC Berkeley or UCLA that get thousands of extremely competitive applicants. So my best advice to tackle the essays is to really hone in on what makes you unique, as the readers will easily be able to tell who's writing with passion and who's getting their essay written by a 30-year-old tutor. And to answer your question about the differences between applying directly and applying undecided, so for most colleges, when you apply undecided, you have a couple of years to decide what major you're going to pursue for the rest of your college career and what degree you're going to get. So for UC Berkeley, in the College of Letters and Sciences, which is typically the undergrad like general education degree, you basically go in the first 2 years undecided anyways. So you declare computer science after the first 2 years. So that's more specific to UC Berkeley as a whole. But in most schools, you basically have 2 or 3 years to decide which major you want to do, and then you're gonna apply for that major.
Okay, thank you. And my next question is, what is student life like at UC Berkeley, and how do you navigate the competitive environment there?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I would say the environment at UC Berkeley is pretty competitive. Definitely not as competitive as some make it out to be, but there is still a decent amount of competition. And even I find myself struggling with the rigor of the courses occasionally and the competitiveness of the people around me and the club's atmosphere. So the way I tackled that is actually my high school, Doherty Valley High School, honestly simulated that competitive environment, so I didn't experience too much of a culture shock when I came here. Most importantly, however, I would say make sure you prioritize your mental and physical health over everything. At the end of the day, one failure on an exam or not getting into a club isn't the end of the world, and it wouldn't directly determine your value to an employer. I would recommend to keep a positive mentality and work through the struggles. So even if you do experience failure, you can use it as a learning opportunity and succeed in the next round of challenges.
Thank you so much for your answer. And my final question is, how do you think we should enrich our high school experience, either through extracurriculars in high school and with summer courses at, I guess, the colleges or other platforms?
Yeah, so I touched on this a little earlier, but some of the clubs I mentioned earlier would be a
Yeah.
very good option for college applications. I'd also say that you should cater your clubs towards your interests, as ultimately you will probably pursue a major that aligns with your interests. And if you have major relevant activities, that goes a long way to show your viability over other candidates. Doing high school sports also is very good, as it indicates your ability to take a strong course load and balance a very large time commitment. So during junior year summer, I would recommend pursuing like college courses, obtaining a job, potentially an academic volunteering opportunity, or even studying for the SAT. Some of the courses you can take is to like skip like pre-calculus, or take, like, as Kaveen mentioned earlier, taking like college classes in community college. And those are a couple options that you can do to further advance your academic career.
Thank you, Nidhi, so much for your answers. They'll probably be very useful for us in the future. And
Thank you.
Thank you, Nitish Rajan, and thank you, Akshara Senthil. Govind, I would like to invite Govind. Yes, please introduce Mr. Parekopal.
யா ஸோ ப்ரோக்ராம் நல்லா போயிட்டுருக்கு. நீங்கள் சொல்கிற மாதிரி இது தமிழ் ரேடியோ, நான் தமிழில் பேசணும். பேரே கோபால் டப்ளினில் இருக்கார், நல்ல நண்பர். அவர் பேரே கோபால் தான், அவர் பியரே கோபால் வாங்க. ஐ வாண்ட் டு தேங்க் யூ அண்ட் ஃபார் யுவர் டைம், and you have done many college planning here, and this is your first time in American Tamil Media. All yours, Pere.
ரொம்ப நன்றி கோவிந்த். வணக்கம் எவ்ரிஒன். வணக்கம் அமெரிக்க தமிழ் ஊடகம். எனக்கு இந்த வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்ததுக்கு மிக்க மிக்க நன்றி. கோவிந்தோட கோவிந்த் எனக்கு மிகவும் வெறும் க்ளோஸான நண்பர். ஸோ நான் இன்னைக்கு என்னோட பேச்சை வந்து நான் ஆங்கிலத்தில் தமிழில் அப்படி மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி பேசுகிறேன். ஸோ நீங்கள் இப்போ பார்க்குறது வந்து என்னோட 2 குழந்தைகள். என்னோட இடது பக்கம் நீங்கள் பார்க்குறது என்னோட மகள் பாவ்னா, வலது பக்கம் பார்க்குறது என்னோட மகன் அபினவ். நான் வந்து ஐம் வெரி ப்ரவுட் டு சே ஐம் அ வெரி ப்ரவுட் கேல் டேட். 2 பேரும் வந்து பர்க்லி போயிட்டு கம்ப்யூட்டர் சயின்ஸ் முடிச்சு கிராஜுவேட் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. இப்போ டாக்டர் PhD பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கா. சன் ஓன் ஸ்டார்ட் அப் வச்சுட்டு சான் பிரான்சிஸ்கோல இருக்காரு. ஸோ நான் வந்து இன்னைக்கு என்ன பேச போறேன்னா, இந்த காலேஜ் அப்ளிகேஷன் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன், இந்த கவுன்சிலிங் பத்தி பேச போறேன். ஸோ நான் இதை கொஞ்ச நாட்களாக நிறைய பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். நிறைய குழந்தைகள் have been my students. So a lot of the Bay Area kids and also people from outside the country are my students. So one of the things is important to know in the college application preparation. Sonaka, it's a holistic kind of package. I'm sure the other students who just talked also will be able to resonate with me. இது வந்து ரொம்ப ஹாலிஸ்டிக் மெத்தட். அதாவது வெறும் அகாடமிக்ஸ் மட்டும் இல்லை, இது அகாடமிக்ஸ் அண்ட் எக்ஸ்ட்ரா கரிக்குலர்ஸ் எல்லாம் சேர்த்து you put your application package together to apply to different colleges. So what that means is it's not only your grades that are very important in high school, but also the extracurricular activities that you do. And these extracurricular activities வந்து நிறைய ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ்ல பண்றதை விட ஒரு ஆக்டிவிட்டி பண்ணி அது டீப்பா போய் அதுல வந்து ஒரு பேஷனோட நீங்க பண்ணி அதை வந்து உங்க அப்ளிகேஷன்ல எக்ஸிபிட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா that will help a lot. Instead of jack of all trades சொல்லுவாங்க, jack of all trades இருக்கிறத விட. ஸோ என்ன இதுல என்ன வந்து இதுல ஸோ அது ஒரு இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பார்ட் ஆஃப் தி அப்ளிகேஷன். ஏன்னா வந்து இப்போ நீங்க காலேஜ் அட்மிஷன்ஸ் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு வந்து thousands and thousands ஆஃப் அப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் வரும். பட் அந்த அப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ்ல வந்து அவங்க வந்து எல்லாரும் நல்ல ஜிபிஏ வாங்குவாங்க, எல்லாரும் காம்படிட்டிவா இருப்பாங்க. பட் வாட் கேன் டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் இஸ் வாட் யூ புட் இன் யுவர் எஸ்ஏஸ் and what you speak about yourself, because that is one of the key things that admissions officer is looking at. How are you different from other students? What is it that you bring to the institution? அப்படின்னாக்கா இப்போ பாருங்க, நீங்க இப்போ உங்க ஹை ஸ்கூல்ல வந்து நீங்க எம்யூஎன்எல் கிளப்ல சேர்ந்திருப்பீங்க, இல்ல வந்து நீங்க வாசிட்டி டென்னிஸ்ல சேர்ந்திருப்பீங்க, ஆர் மெனி அதர் ஆக்டிவிட்டிஸ்ல சேர்ந்திருப்பீங்க. பட் நீங்க உங்க காலேஜை ரிசர்ச் பண்ணும்போது நீங்க வந்து you have to research into colleges that match your interests, match your club activities. ஏன்னா இப்போ நீங்க காலேஜ்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 1/4 of the students will leave the college every year. ஏன்னா அவங்க கிராஜுவேட் பண்ணிட்டு போவாங்க. அப்போ நியூ செட் ஆஃப் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் நீட் டு கம் இன். ஸோ காலேஜ் வந்து அந்த நியூ செட் ஆஃப் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வரும்போது அவங்க வந்து அவங்களோட கிளப்ஸ்ல இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் காட்டுறாங்களா, அவங்களோட கிளப்ல சம்பந்தப்பட்ட திங்ஸ் ஹேவ் தே ஒர்க்ட் ஆன் அப்படின்னு they take a very deep look. So that is something to remember when you're creating your application. So you need to target those schools that match your interests. So that is something that I work very closely in assisting them in the identifying the appropriate undergraduate level program. So that's where I work very closely with the students and giving them a very personalized service through the college research ஆகட்டும், selection ஆகட்டும், and the application preparation ஆகட்டும், acceptance process ஆகட்டும், அதனால I work very close with the students. So இது வந்து எப்படின்னா it's a collaboration. It's a collaborative work at the end of the day between your personal counselor, which is me, as well as the student and the family. Because for number setting la pathina, culturally the family is very deeply involved in the college application preparation itself. So it's a collaborative kind of effort. So you can look at me as a GPS. So I'm the GPS who will be directing you, and who will direct you, and who will give you the plan, and who can help you put the plan together, who can help you put the schedule together, and manage this throughout the period you're submitting your applications. And of course, you're the owner of this whole process. So, and I would say this because this is a big step in students' life in Solalam, because when they are going to a college application process, there's a lot of responsibility that they have to take in terms of coming up with a plan to finish their applications, coming up with a plan to take the standardized tests if the college requests for it, and coming up with a plan to write their essays. So idhilalla a lot of the organization skills, the time management skills ella varum, because as somebody just mentioned, high school again is going to be very busy with coursework, with extracurricular activities, with honors, or with community courses, or with AP courses, and so on. So other than a lot of time is going to go. So this will help them to give an opportunity avங்களுக்கு time management பண்றதுக்குலாம். So basically this is where I come in as a college coach, and then I help you, and I help the students in giving the student advice on preparing. இது காலேஜ் ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷன் காலேஜஸ் ஐடென்டிஃபிகேஷனாக இருக்கட்டும், காலேஜ் அப்ளிகேஷன்ஸாக இருக்கட்டும், அண்ட் அதை டெவலப் பண்ணி அதை ரிவ்யூ பண்ணி அவங்க ரெசுமே ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணும்போது, காலேஜுக்குன்னு ரெசுமே ப்ரிப்பேர் போடும்போது அதை வந்து ரிவ்யூ பண்ணி சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணி ஐ வில் பி ஏபிள் டு டூ ஆல் தட். அண்ட் ஆல்சோ நீங்கள் ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன்ஸ் வாங்கணும். ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன்ஸ் வந்து காலேஜ் டீச்சர்ஸ் வந்து ஐ மீன் ஸ்கூல் ஹை ஸ்கூல் டீச்சர்ஸ் வந்து வாங்கணும் டு ஸ்டார்ட் தட் வெரி ஏர்லி இன் த ப்ராசஸ். ஸோ நீங்கள் வந்து உங்கள் ஸ்கூலில் வந்து நீங்கள் உங்கள் கவுன்சிலர் இருப்பாங்க. ஹை ஸ்கூலில் வந்து எல்லா ஹை ஸ்கூல் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா யூ வில் ஹேவ் யுவர் ஓன் கவுன்சிலர். But then I will be I will work with you as a secret counselor with a background, because in terms of providing you choices on getting the teacher recommendations, in providing you choices on the appropriate summer activities and the school programs based on your goals, finalizing your personal statement in the resume, and also working on assisting with completing all early action and your early decision applications, and your complete application will go through a final review with me for any advice and suggestions before you really go into the Common App or any other avenue to submit your applications. And also finally, after you go through such hard work in your senior year, the happiness comes when you start hearing back from the different schools, and when you are trying to make your acceptance decisions. So as your college coach, I will be more than happy to help you in making those decisions. And it comes with a lot of factors, right? Your interest, your the tuition and the financial aspects and so on. So this becomes the most challenging part of the process, if you ask me. How to make the right decision to go to the right college at the end with all these factors. So these are some of the things that I work very closely with my students. And also a lot of advice to parents on the transition for students, because high school to going to undergrad college, having gone through two such situations myself with two of my kids, gone from high school to undergraduate institution, I can say அது வந்து ஒரு பெரிய டிரான்சிஷன் தான். ஏன்னா வந்து அவங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு இண்டிபெண்டன்ஸ் வரும், ஒரு more responsibility வரும். They have to start managing their time, and they have to come up with a plan of what they exactly want to do in terms of the major, in terms of the career, and so on. So I work very closely with the parents and the students on that. And typically I engage with the students or end of sophomore year, because end of sophomore year some of the students start working with me, and they get into the habit of starting to write their essays, because essays in the personal statement is a big part of the application. Or college or average 3 essays in kuda you can assume. And that is a lot of work, because putting in the other part of the application is pretty straightforward. It's only your personal information and putting in your transcript, grades, and all that. But essays take a lot of time. So, and that is an iterative process. And that doesn't happen in one go. It takes several reviews and several iterations to get it perfect, because you can write a lot, but also you have to stick within a word limit. And then there are these issues of you write it in your Word document, and then you will bring it into your Common App application. The Common App application, there's always a mismatch between the word count, so your word count will go higher. So which means now you'll have to start reducing your essay content itself. So other than a lot of challenges. So the earlier you start on that, the better. That way, நீங்க வந்து ஒரு end of the summer in sophomore year, நீங்க ஒரு மாதிரி if you can get your essays into shape, then junior year you can still keep working on it, and then you can get it perfect by the end of summer of junior year. So you have a whole year அதை பண்ணி முடிக்கிறதுக்கு. அப்புறம் நீங்க சீனியர் இயர்ல all that you have to do is identify the colleges, submit the applications, and then submit your essays. ஸோ ஒரு தடவை நீங்க அப்படி எஸ்ஏ அப்படி ஒரு மாதிரி எழுதிட்டீங்கன்னா, ஒரு 3-4 எஸ்ஏ எழுதிட்டீங்கன்னா, then they can be reused in one way or the other. ரொம்ப வேரியேஷன் இருக்காது from college to college. You will be able to reuse some of the ideas from one essay into the other, and so on. So அந்த மாதிரி I work very closely with my students. So என்னோட way of working primarily Skype, Zoom, and through phone calls. I regularly meet with my students, and then I work with them very closely in helping them through the college application process from start to finish. ஸோ இதுதான் நான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். நிறைய ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இன்னும் பண்றேன். அண்ட் இது என்னோட பேஷன் கூட சொல்லலாம். ஏன்னா நான் என்னோட குழந்தைகளுக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சேன். இதோட குழந்தைகளுக்கு ஆரம்பிச்சு என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸுக்கு I started helping them. And when I started helping my friends, then some of my friends recommended that, hey, why don't you do this on a continuous basis in it? So that's when I really started doing it for the last few years. Yeah, so maybe I'll pause now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll try to answer them as much as I can now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I received questions from Fatima Syed. Is there a difference if we prefer test blind in the bracket SAT compared to SAT submission for selection process? That's her questions.
But whether you are supposed to submit SAT?
Her question is there a difference if we prefer test blind SAT in the bracket SAT compared to SAT submission for selection process?
So sorry, I didn't understand. So is the question whether you have to submit SAT for submission? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because sure. See, now if you take UCs, right? UCs from 2020 April, they made it SAT optional. So because it's made SAT optional, so even what that means is UCs will not consider ACT or SAT scores for admission decisions, or for awarding scholarships to students. So அது இப்ப பண்றது இல்ல. So நீங்க அதை பண்ணினாலும் அவங்க கன்சிடர் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. There are still other schools that are still considering ACT and SAT scores. So there you have to send them.
Thank you, sir. School students, Shruti, Aksara, do you guys, girls, do you have any questions? Please feel free to ask Gopal sir. Then one more question, I'll finish it. Another question is Fatima Syed. Shruti, would you like to read? Or I can read. Okay. Can you please elaborate once more how to move from community college to UCS if a person can't enter directly from high school?
Yeah, so community colleges, see, there are lots of students who go that route from community colleges to high school. So the important thing is to make sure that your GPA is in very good standing, because UCs they do that a lot. I mean, transfer from community colleges to UCs. So you'll have to make sure that GPA is you have a very good GPA, and you are still maintaining a high standard GPA, and also take all the requirement courses and be done with it. So that way, when you have covered all the courses that is required, so say for example from a community college you're transferring to letters and sciences at UC Berkeley, make sure that you have a very high GPA, and make sure that you have all the courses that are covered for transfer purposes that letters and sciences in UC Berkeley will consider. And once you have done all of that, and along with the extracurriculars like working in the summer or doing a summer job or doing something related to what your what you're studying. So those things also will really help to come into a regular university. நீங்க மியூட்ல இருக்கீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Thank you, sir. Another question from Vijay Babu. From which grade we can start doing volunteering?
See, volunteering, I would recommend from 9th grade summer itself. So high school, it starts from 9th grade. So your 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th are your primary high school years, which is what you will have to showcase in your applications. So I would recommend starting to do summer activities from the 9th grade. That is from your freshman summer.
Thank you, sir. Another question from Shri. Kid can start collecting recommendations from school teachers.
You mean which year?
When child can start collecting recommendation?
Yeah.
I don't know what she tried to say. Recommendation for what? Recommendation from school teachers.
Sure. Yeah. So recommendations from school teachers, this is a very important piece of your application. So I would encourage all the students to start having a dialogue with those teachers that you want to get recommendations beginning of your junior year. So beginning of your junior year, please start having this dialogue with the teachers that you have in mind, who you think you want recommendations from, and finalize that by the summer of the junior year. So let them know that you will be starting to prepare the applications very soon, and you will be sending them the online recommendations or even the paper recommendations their way. So by summer end of junior year, please finalize that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Shri, he covered your second questions too. This is your third question. Does it really matter where does kids do part-time job?
No, it does not really matter where kids do their part-time job. What matters is whether you're able to leverage on what you did, and you're able to build a story on it and show what you have learned, what are the challenges, and how you mitigated those challenges. If you can form a story around it, that's what they are looking at. Because they know kids are from high school, and they don't expect any heaven and earth, let me put it that way, from the kids, because they're only in high school. But what they want to know is whatever you did, what you learned, what were your challenges, and how you mitigated those, and how you build a story around it.
Thank you, sir. Shruti, Pradeep, please read the next question, please.
So Vidya Sethuraman wants to know, what is the right grade to start college planning?
Okay, the right grade to start college planning. See, I've had students who have approached me from the end of sophomore year. End of sophomore, that is the summer. That's a good time to start.
And I have a personal question myself, sir. Are there any advantages to starting at a community college rather than directly joining a four-year college? Perhaps like financial benefits or the benefit of getting to stay with your family for a year longer?
Yeah, but definitely, right? Yeah, financial benefits is one reason why you could go to the community college route, and a lot of students are doing that, especially with respect to the UCs now. And yeah, so I mean, you spend a couple of years in the community college, and then you'll have to only spend 2 more years in the university. So that really helps a lot. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend that. Yes, if you can. Yeah.
And then Tripti Shri wants to know, which recommendations really help school teachers or outside coaches as well as teachers?
See, primarily your school teachers will go a long way, right? So that should be your first. Typically, every school will ask like 3 recommendations. You can say like average of 3 recommendations. So make sure 2 recommendations are from your high school teachers, and one can be from say if you're the varsity team, one can be from your varsity team coach, and one can be from your summer internship experience or your summer job experience. One can be from that person.
Great. And then Bharati J wants to know, what are the criteria for getting scholarships for kids?
Oh, that's a very broad question. Criteria, see, for scholarships for kids, right? So, see, merit-based scholarships are there. See, but merit-based aid goes to students based on academic and extracurricular achievements rather than financial need. So, when somebody gets a scholarship, as you know, that's the most common form of merit-based aid. So that is one route. And then the other route is, of course, the need-based financial aid, which the college will provide. So that's the other thing. So that's where you have to apply for the financial aid package, the FAFSA, and all that, and all those kind of forms you have to fill. And then you will have to do that in parallel with your application, college application.
Thank you, sir. UC students Pradeep, Kavin, Nitish, and school students Akshara and Shruti. If you guys have any question, feel free to ask him, Mr. Kobal, sir. Next question is, how can a high school kid from India can get into UC?
Yeah, so high school kids from India getting into UC. Yeah, I've had at least 3 to 4 students who did that. So high school India getting into UC, okay, that will be an out-of-state student, right? International and out-of-state all belong to the same category. So that means they will come in as an international and out-of-state student. Now, I've had students who are US citizens, for example, right? So when US citizens come in, sometimes it's both the situations, because they have been able to prove their residency in state, and those kind of people have always able to get the in-state tuition. But sometimes even the US citizens, if they're not able to prove their residency, because that is again a very tricky one. When you send your application, it's sent to the registrar's office, and the registrar office determines whether you're in state or out of state, and then they make the call. So then that will help them decide whether they have to pay the out of state fees or the in-state fees. Now, coming from India itself, again, the process is the same. The applications, and whether you're a CBSE curriculum or IB curriculum, I've had students from IB curriculum, for example, who provide their projected grades, and then the projected grades is what they will submit for their application. And then after they finish their high school, when the real grades come out, they will provide those grades. So whether it's a CBSE curriculum or IB curriculum, it's still the same thing. You have to provide your transcripts, your GPAs, and your extracurricular activities, essays, and so on.
Thank you, sir. Pradeep, you look like tired. Please read Fatima Said question.
Recommendations from nonprofit/community where kids volunteering for years can be submitted?
Yes, recommendations can be submitted. Yes.
Thank you. Shruti Veerasekaran, please come on the screen. Our next question, Shruti, please read, ma. Shruti, read
So
this.
the next question.
Darling.
Okay.
Yes. Read this
Hello,
question,
okay.
then your question.
So the next question is, are there any benefits to doing pre-college programs versus doing summer enrichment courses?
Pre-college programs, you mean like in a community college?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's very good if you can do courses in a community college, right? Because you will be able to get your college credits, and they will be recognized when you go into an undergraduate institution. So that way you will get the credits. And so a lot of students do that. What they do is they will split their time one summer they will go do an internship, and another summer they will go do community college programs. They will be part of that, and they will do those courses. So they do a mix of both. Yes.
Your question, Shruti Veerasekaran. Next, Akshara Nitish Rajan. If you have any question, please come on the screen. Kavin Aramugam and Nitish too. Now, go ahead, your question, ma. Shruti Veerasekaran.
So my question to you is a college guidance counselor worth it? And if so, what year is it best to start counseling?
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, a college counselor is definitely worth it because, as I said, so this is the person who's going to be like your GPS, like I was telling earlier, right? Who's going to channel you and direct you towards the entire process, because this entire process, if you really think, it is a long drawn process for almost a whole year, starting from your senior year. So that is one aspect, and then the other aspect is even getting ready for it by, as I was saying, writing your essays and iterating your essays and so on. So, and then there is the other piece where you'll have to do your college research, and then you'll have to identify the list of colleges that match your criteria. Then your extracurriculars, right, which you will be doing all through the summer, and then making sure that you are working in the right area of your interest. So that is where a college counselor comes in very useful. And a person like me, you can talk openly, and we work in a collaborative manner so that I understand your needs. I then provide you the right advice, and then you go ahead and then you channelize yourself towards that process. So, and also reviewing your essays and reviewing your applications. So again, I'll play a big role as a college counselor on that. Now, as I was saying, the best time to start that would be the summer of sophomore year, because you get a big lead time to write your essays, and then to start thinking about how you want to draft your essays and structure your essays. Then, of course, comes the senior year when the applications will open and you have to start filling the applications. So I would say summer of sophomore year is a good time to start.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. One more question. Is there an average amount of AP classes needed to get into UCS? This question from Rajesh.
You can't really put a number to the number of AP classes, but what the admissions officers are looking for is how you challenged yourself, right? So that is one key thing that the colleges are looking at, because as some of the students mentioned who went to UC Berkeley, and my own kids who went to UC Berkeley, it's the rigor and the challenge that they are seeing, whether you have done that, and whether you will be able to handle the rigor and the challenge. So that's why when you take the AP courses, and don't immediately think that you'll have to take so many AP courses, because there's no point taking all those AP courses and if you just make a score of 3, right? A score of 3 is the bare minimum that you need for the AP courses, but you definitely need at least a 4 or a 5 for you to get the credits, and for the admissions officers to really understand that you've really gone through the rigor and challenge, right? So that is also important to keep in mind. So take the AP courses depending on your interest. So if you're a computer science major, take the AP courses related to computer science, take the AP courses related to math, right? And try to score well, right? So the more you can accumulate towards what you want to do, that is better.
Thank you, sir. Shruti, please read the question, ma.
So the next question is it still a good idea to take SAT preparation seriously?
Yes, it's still a good idea, because if you're applying to, say, colleges outside the UC, which a lot of students do, then they require the SAT scores. So and if at all your grades are showing that you're really good in something, but if your grades are not reflecting that, then your SAT scores will supplement that. All right. So that's where it goes a long way to show the admissions officer, yeah, this person is very good in math, or this person is very good in science, and so on. Right. But yeah, so you'll have to look at the schools, see whether they want the SAT, AC, or ACT scores, and then send them appropriately. Otherwise, you don't need to send them. You don't need to prepare. But then we have only one part of the country where they say they don't look at the SAT, and there is still a large portion of the schools that require the SAT. So that's why you need to still take them.
Yes, thank you, sir. And the next question is, what APs should you take during sophomore year?
I would say you take the general idea should be that when you go for an AP, you have to understand that these are really advanced level courses, right? So you need to have done those prerequisites, or at least an honors level in that particular course, so that it makes it easy for you for the AP. Otherwise, your AP preparation is going to take a lot of time, because you wouldn't have done the prerequisites, and you'll have to go through the journey of understanding all that to prepare for your AP courses. So you'll have to look at them that way.
Thank you, sir. Vijay Babu, unga question naanga skip panala. Is it good idea to not take AP classes and take community college courses?
No, I mean, community college courses, yeah, you straight away get the college credit. So that's the best part of community courses. AP courses also, to a large extent, they'll give you credit, especially if you have a score of 4 or 5, and the UCs do give credit for that. So you can do a mix of both.
Thank you, sir. Another question from, I think, Crim Ninja. Okay, what is the Josh World? The question from, what is the GPA expected to get into UC? I mean, what would be the best score?
See, but you can't really put a number and say this is the best GPA, because as I said at the beginning of the application preparation, right, it's a holistic package, right? Your GPA has to be good, and your extracurriculars have to be good as well. So it's both of those that is going to get you accepted into that institution. So you could have a very high GPA of a 3.9 or even a 4.0, but if your extracurriculars are bad, then you may not be able to really get into the school. Whereas somebody who would have like a GPA of a 3.7 and who have very good extracurriculars, they will be able to get in. So that's why you can't really put a number. All you can say is you'll have to get a very good GPA, and you'll have to show that you have gone through the rigor and the challenge, and you have done good extracurriculars. So these three have to go hand in hand. That's where it shows an admissions officer that you manage your time well, and you managed your load well, and you still managed to accomplish well. So that's what impresses the admissions officer.
Thank you, sir. 7 minutes தான் left இருக்கு. ஆனா ஓகே, இந்த ஒரு question நம்ம கவர் பண்ணிடலாம். People say you can take open major if you don't know want to select while submitting application. What is meant by that? From Fatima Syed.
Okay, இதுதான் வந்து they call it undeclared. So you can go in as undeclared when you're applying and in your application form. So for example, on your UC application form, you can go as an undeclared major, but for freshmen who are applying, this is not going to hurt your chances or prospects for an admission. So that is also there. So large number of freshmen, in my experience, they apply as undeclared. Now, and UCs, for example, they will not consider majors when they are making any decisions. But all majors are equally competitive. Now, the thing with going as undeclared is you will have to very soon decide what you want to do. So at least by the end of sophomore year, you need to decide which major you want to pursue. And that means your GPA has to be in good standing and everything has to be in good standing. So if that is good, then you're in good shape to pick up a major and to transfer over. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I think there's one more question. Is 32 a good one?
You mean for the ACTs?
Yes, I think so, sir.
Yes, that's a good score. Yes.
Okay, so I think we're done with all our questions right now.
We hope. சார்
Okay.
இப்போ வந்து இன்னும் மக்களுக்கு கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருந்தது அப்படின்னா நீங்க உங்களோட டைமை கம்யூனிட்டிக்காக சப்போர்ட் பண்றீங்க. உங்களோட இமெயில் ஐடி, உங்களோட ஃபோன் நம்பரை நீங்க இப்ப சொல்லுங்க. அவங்க நோட் பண்ணிக்கட்டும். தேவையான கொஸ்டினா உங்களுக்கு வந்து அவங்க காண்டாக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க.
ஓகே. So thank you. அத ஸ்லைட் போட்டிருக்காரு.
எஸ். நானே வாசிக்கிறேன். ஃபோன் நம்பர் வந்து 510-634-6122. pere__kobal@yahoo.com.
Correct.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Shruti?
Yes, I actually think that me thanking you would be more correct rather than Julie Tanti, sir, because of all the wonderful information that you have given us students gathered here today. நானும் ஒரு high schooler தான், and நீங்க இன்னைக்கு சொன்ன எல்லா இன்ஃபர்மேஷனுமே ரொம்ப ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லா இருந்தது, and I'm sure me and everybody else watching this live will make great use of that information. So thank you so much for your time, sir.
You're most welcome. Vanakkam. Thank you to everyone again in the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much.
Kobal, thank you, Shrutida. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay, you're good. I would also like to take this moment to thank Govind Gopal uncle, the owner of Gale Ranch Notary, for sponsoring this college planning event. So thank you, uncle. Julie Tanti, நீங்க தான் சொல்ல விரும்புறீங்களா?
வாங்க அவர நாங்க sponsor.
Yeah, thank you, Julie. So I think it's a great start, like a good community program. Thank you, Pere, and thank you, Shruti, and all the students. I was posting in one of the messages saying that today it's going to be Aru 2.0 for Kavin, but we also have Aru 1.0, Pradeep Aru. So it's a good start from Aru's family. Especially they are contributing entire family, Juliet, Aru, and our sons. So they are contributing to this to the community. That is great. This is a good start. We should continue more program like that because the amount of questions we get in the chat, it's enormous. Like a lot of people, I'm sure that so many other questions we couldn't answer. So this is the good starting, and we will have more program like this. And similarly, my service like Will and Trust, lot of our community, திருக்குறள்ல சொல்ற மாதிரி வருமுன்னர் காவாதான் வாழ்க்கை எரிமுன்னர் வைத்தூறு போல கெடும். நம்ம எல்லாருமே வந்து ப்ரிவென்ஷனோட பண்ணணும். அது காலேஜ் பிளானாக இருக்கட்டும், ஃபைனான்ஷியல் பிளானிங், எஸ்டேட் பிளானிங், எல்லாமே பிஆர்டி ப்ரோஆக்டிவாக இருக்கணும். அதை வந்து நீங்கள் எல்லாமே வந்து சொன்ன மாதிரி வந்து இயர்லியாக ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி பிளான் பண்ணுறது நல்லது காலேஜ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். அதேமாரி பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ஃபைனான்ஷியலாக உங்களுக்கு எப்படி பண்ணணும், நம்ம வந்து இட்ஸ் டூ லேட் மேபி ஃபார் ஹை ஸ்கூல் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ், பட் மிடில் ஸ்கூல் அல்லது எலிமெண்ட்ரி ஸ்கூல் பேரண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னாக்க காலேஜ் பிளானிங் எப்படி பண்ணுறது அப்படின்னாக்கா என்ன ரீச் பண்ணி கேளுங்க. அதே மாதிரி பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு வந்து எஸ்டேட் பிளானிங் வேணும். எவ்ரிபடி நீட்ஸ் வில் அண்ட் ட்ரஸ்ட். So with American Tamil Media, I am happy to do one more event for Will and Trust. அதில் நம்ம பேசுவோம். Without taking too much time, I want to thank American Tamil Media and for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, viewers. If you have any questions, please post in the YouTube chat window and like us, comment us in the Facebook media also for American Tamil Media. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you, viewers, for all your likes, comments. Please subscribe American Tamil Udagam, American Tamil Media. Thank you, Mr. Govind, for your beautiful words and sponsorship. Please continue your sponsorship. Thank you, sir, Mr. Pere Kobal, for your time and support our community. So thank you all for sharing your experience and showing your support for our community. And once again, I would like to thank you, our American Tamil Media President and my brother, Mr. Ruben Jagannathan, for your technical support. தமிழ் எங்கள் மூச்சு என்றும் அன்புடன் ஜெயஜுலிட் அந்தோணிசாமி, ஆறுமுகம் பேச்சுமுத்து. தமிழ் எங்கள் மூச்சு. நன்றி, வணக்கம்.